All right, today we are working on this, what do we got, Montana? I don't know, a Sierra fifth wheel. And the good folks at the manufacturer did not leave us a furnace access panel, as you can see, right here by the water heater. So that means to replace the furnace motor that we're here to do today, means we have to get access to the furnace by taking walls down and getting to the furnace that's there in the basement. And unfortunately there's plumbing in the way, so plumbing has to be removed and duct has to be removed in order to get the furnace to pull backwards and spin it around so that we can do what we need to do. So if you look through here, you can see the furnace, and we've got a gas line on top, a duct on top. Old Jason's taken all the ducts off the back already, but apparently this has been removed before, I think by one of the other guys, and so we had two Fernco boots to remove, and as you can see my hand, we had to move a section of drain out of the way to be able to get this furnace to scoot back, spin it around so we can take the motor out. That P-trap right there for that shower, we're probably going to have to take that out of the way too to move this furnace. Jason found some screws holding it down to the floor on this side, and there's going to be some on the other side, I'd imagine too.
Yeah, I got them out.
You got them out. All right, so when we get this thing out and spun around, I'll be back and we'll show how you take a furnace motor out and replace it. All right, so our man Jason here successfully got the furnace and cage out of behind the wall over there. Very tight fit because of the plumbing. Thank you, Forest River. All right, so the motor is right back here. In fact, this is the power wire and the negative for our motor that we need to replace. The motor is spinning very slow, very slow. So got a new motor here, and what we're going to do is we've got screws all over that we need to take off. This little plate right here, stabilizing plate's got to come off. There's 4 screws around the cowling here, so this will come off, this will come off, and then we'll have full-blown access to the motor. Can get that guy out. We'll have to take the fresh air intake fan off this side, take the squirrel cage off this side, put them on the new motor here, and then put it all back together, and then go through all of the tiers of having to put this back in its hole. All right, so let's watch Jason get to work. We could, if we wanted to, take the core out of the cage, basically the business side of the furnace. Everything he's working on right now, we could take that core out of the cage and it'd make it a little easier to get at, but just don't see that it's necessary. I think we're going to be okay. It would be just like if we had an outside access panel. This is what you would be doing, standing over there at the camper wall. Got the igniter wire and the clips here. That's hanging you up too. Then of course the black wire of the sail switch. Sail switch there. And there's a story to that sail switch, but we won't get into that right now. And then if you'll follow that negative wire, it goes to a negative bus that's down below. There'll be a bunch of yellow wires and then that black one plugged in with them. May not be able to get at it because it's in the cage. That may be the issue.
I believe so.
We may have to partially pull it out of the cage. Don't necessarily have to pull the whole thing out. Alright, so that screw right there is really the only screw holding this thing inside. So now we should be able to, well, we can't pull it forward because of the gas valve right here, so we'll have to pull it all the way out. There we go. And here comes the furnace. Alright, we'll take the cage, set her over here. And this little guy right here helps hold the control board in. Alright, so now, because we pulled the core out, Jason is able to access the negative wire bus bar and unplug the motor from it. There we go, right here. That's what the negative of the motor was plugged into. And because the cage sits here like this, and the cowling's here like this, you can't really get at it. So, well, we ended up having to take it out anyway. But, no biggie.
Got it busted?
No, that's a hole so that you can get at the Allen head in here to loosen it up to take the squirrel cage off.
I guess we need both of these.
Yep, we're gonna have to take them guys off there. So, and then this little metal tab here that I picked up off the ground that I said we would need this guy goes right here. And when this cowling goes on over here, it holds that tab in place, and that tab holds the control board in place. Alrighty, so we're gonna need some Allens. We've got one T-handle in the bag there, but that looks too big. And you can tell this guy's had some dirt daubers in here before. Those are no bueno with a furnace. And then this motor literally just comes right out. This plastic, it's just stuck on there, but this will just come right off that motor. I've seen them stuck before, but that one's a little extra stuck. I have to stick a screwdriver in there and kind of give it a little Mac tool persuasion.
Yeah.
You can see these little absorbent pads here, and those fit right down It helps you orientate this motor the right way, and also too these screw terminals here. If you look down in there, it's in a key. You'll see it better when we get it apart. There she goes. There she goes. So you can see there where that screw threaded post goes right here in this groove, and then those cushions or pads, if you will, fall right down in here. So the motor can only go in two ways, a right way and a wrong way, and the wrong way is when the wires are facing backwards. We want the wires to face forward and come through this hole here. Other than that, there's really not a wrong way. Alright, so we got both fans off here. And there's the old motor. And we're going to dig out the new one. Alright, so now we just reverse everything we've done. I think that D shaft has got a stop on it, so it only lets you put the fan on so far. Right now Jason is putting the set screw back in to the chuck that holds that fan on to the D shaft. As you can see, there's a hole in the fan, sticking that T-handle Allen through it, finding that set screw down there, and giving that a little tighty. Don't need no fans coming off. Now we don't have any broken teeth on that fan, right? Just a little bit of dirt. Don't see nothing broke on it, because it will definitely let you know when there's a broken tooth on it. Alright, looking good. And then we got our fresh air intake fan. Same scenario, it's got a little set screw. Goes in the collar there. Yeah. We'll tighten that guy in. And you don't have to take them set screws all the way out. You can just loosen them and get the same result.
That would have been too smart.
You can't know it all. And I don't certainly know it all. I've just done one a time or two. Excellent job, excellent job. Now I don't know why Suburban puts these screws right here. So it's like you gotta finagle the fresh air wheel into there, and they've got this screw here. I'm not sure why. On the more newer Suburban furnaces, there's like actually like a plastic tab right there. Don't know what purpose it serves. If maybe lets me, knows what the purpose is, put it in the comments. I'd like to know. Alright, so Jason's checking out how this guy's going to sit in there. So basically we're going to want wire side up. That thing seated in there properly. We're going to run our wires through the cover. That is money installation right there. And you're just going to bring that negative wire around underneath the gas valve and plug it into our negative bus right there. Excellent. Well done. Alright, and then he's going to plug the blower into the tab on the control board that says blower. Well, I think it says blow, B-O-L. Oh, it's right there between the blue connectors. You can see on the green board it says B-L-O. So, blower's here, main power here, wire harness here, igniter here. That's it. The rest of it is just literally putting it together. That's sail switch.
All right.
And on these furnaces, Suburban and Dometic Atwood both, red is our 12 volt that provides the power for the unit. Our yellow is the negative or the ground. And then we have our two blue control wires here. One's got the white stripe, one don't. And honestly, I can't remember. I think it's the solid blue is going to be the 12 volts that runs to the thermostat through this, comes back home through this, and then it runs through the safety circuit. So on the back here, you can see the black and white wire. Those are for the high limit thermostat back here. So if this gets too hot, that thermostat will interrupt the voltage running through the circuit, which tells the control board, hey, shut off, we're too hot. And it also runs to the sail switch that's here. And the sail switch is an air prover. So as long as we have enough air, the sail switch confirms that, tells the control board, hey, you can go ahead and light the furnace up. We've got plenty of airflow and we're not too hot. So that's basically the quick rundown of what's going on here. Right now Jason's plugging up our sail switch, and whoever worked on this before cut the other wire to the sail switch, I'm not sure why, and then put an inline Wago connector, which isn't the end of the world, but it does introduce another place where a failure could happen. So ideally it would be better to just not cut that wire. And then here we got our igniter wire, and that sits in our grooves here on the cowling. Got two there.
Huh?
There's two of them for the igniter wire.
Oh.
If we're going to do it the Suburban way. And then it's just a matter of just screwing it all down. There we go. Oh, before you screw it down, we've got to get our little tab in here. Because this,
it's the tab again.
It's right there. I took it back out so it wouldn't fall out again. Alright, so that'll just slide in there and hold that control board in. Excellent, excellent. And then the top part of the shell holds it in. Alright, so now it's just a matter of finding all those screws. This one here you'll have to take back out, I think, for that bracket that goes here. I've done that a time or two. Always want to kind of just, before you get everything put back together and reinstalled, just give it a spin, make sure it ain't scrubbing nothing.
Especially when you gotta finagle it in its spot.
Oh yeah, and you findangling we are doing on this one.
I still don't think it's as bad as the one you had to tip it on its side, tilt it.
That was pretty bad.
I mean, it might be as bad, but it's definitely don't take as long to get it in and out.
Yeah. That was a few videos ago. That was the one where we had to remove drain pipe for the kitchen cabinet or the kitchen sink and take drawers out, and oh my gosh, yeah, you're right, that one was quite the trip. Here's just some zip ties.
Alright, all screws.
That's Latin for zip tie.
They're even orange, so you know it's important.
Well, they're orange. No, the VLRV did it. Look at that. All right, looking good. Looking good. So we got our sail switch. This wire is coming from the high limit, and this is voltage out from sail switch to control board. And if we've got air and it ain't too hot, we'll have ignition down here in the burn chamber. And we'll make a video exposing all that. Alright, so my man Jason here just got the core into the cage, and he has just twisted the blue wires together. Jason, why are you twisting blue wires together? What's the matter with you? Those don't go together.
Well, it thinks it has a thermostat.
Ah, okay. So instead of plugging this back into the camper and using the real thermostat, Jason has become the thermostat. So we're going to take red wire, yellow wire, we're going to hook that up to a battery, and since those are twisted together, it's going to be telling the furnace, hey, we want heat. So we will give this a nice, good bench test run before we go through the hassle of having to put this back into the camper. And he's going to put that screw back in that's going to hold the core to the cage. Here is the high limits thermostat that I was telling you guys about, right? So it's just a racetrack of voltage. So if this guy is not too hot, the voltage can cross it. If it gets too hot, it'll open the circuit, interrupt, the volts stop here, and the control board says, hey, do not ignite, there's a problem. That's the way a furnace should sound. I would say that we have achieved victory. This is really tight quarters. I'm not appreciative of how Forest River did this. We got a water line across the floor and water lines across the ceiling. How on earth do you get this furnace in and out? The answer is very carefully.
I don't know how I got this out of here.
Or you do what I did the first time and take the water heater out, and then move the furnace over, do what you got to do, move the furnace back over. The move over and move back over is real easy to do, hey, you know, but then you got the hassle factor of taking the water heater out and draining 10 to 12 gallons of water out onto the ground. So now you get to stand in water and mud while you do your work. 6 half dozen of the other. So just real quick, for anybody who doesn't know, this is the back panel to the furnace, right? That goes on the back. We've got 3 holes punched out for ducts, and they all have these collars right here, and they're keyed. You can see the notch in the holes, and the collar, it just fits right in that, and you turn it, it locks in. So you can see right back here, you got the collar, you got the tooth, and if you turn this collar, tooth comes out the hole right there, and you can take the whole air duct off, and you don't have to do what Jason did and loosen up the hose clamp and take the duct off the collar. You can just spin the collar, and then you take off your air duct, and then to put it back on, you know, you can see this part down here at the bottom. Sit that in the hole, put the tooth in the hole, give it a turn, they're locked in. And there's one on top of the furnace and 3 back here on the back of the furnace, and it should be ready to rock and roll. Got a little excessive butyl squeezing out the bottom. So we'll just take a little plastic scraper and just clean it off. So now it doesn't look so redneck. Got us a bead of Proflex across the top. Got the butyl underneath it. That guy's ready to rock and roll. Okay, we had the customer fire up the furnace from their thermostat. And I know you guys weren't with us when we first arrived and diagnosed this. It was very cold that day, and we just wanted to get out of here. But anyway, I know you can't feel it, but man, that's really blowing a lot of hot exhaust out of there, which is good, which is what we want. When we arrived here to diagnose this, that hot air was barely coming out. And we really a wonder that the sales switch was even engaged. I'm not even sure how that happened, but it was burning, but it sure wasn't blowing very hard. So anyway, it's blowing hard and hot now, so we're going to chalk this up as a victory. So the only thing we got to do now is go ahead and put the plumbing back together.
It's in. We just need to turn the water on.
Okay, so he's already got the drainage in, and I guess it's just putting walls back together. But let's go around here and turn the water on and just verify that we don't have any new leaks behind the wet bay, because whenever you mess with that vinyl tubing with the PEX connectors and the crimps, it just loves to find a way out. So we're gonna come turn the water on, and if you guys will please give us a subscribe, like, comment on the videos, we sure would appreciate all your help, and thanks for watching. Bye.